Cho. 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 Nana Yadase. I wish to thank you for the warm welcome given to my team since we arrived here in Upper West Akyem this morning. We are here today for a historic event, that is the groundbreaking of the construction of 200 community-day secondary schools in Ghana. This event is going to expand secondary education in this country and improve access to our children who finish basic schools so that we ensure that no child is left behind. Today, my administration is giving practical meaning to our promise and the realization of our dreams and aspirations of our people around the nation as we take these concrete steps to expand secondary education in Ghana. I believe that this is a dream come true for the people of Kwaobaah, Nyanoa, and its adjoining towns in the Upper West Akyem District. This dream is going to be realized in all the 200 communities around the country where we have selected sites for these secondary schools to be built. Ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that during the 2012 electioneering campaign, we stated our commitment to the expansion of access in secondary education and at the same time the improvement, quality, equity, and affordability of this education in Ghana. This promise was guided by and consistent with a number of key instruments. First, our 1992 Constitution. Secondly, our medium-term development framework, the Ghana Shared Growth and Development Agenda, and thirdly, the 2010 to 2020 Education Strategic Plan. As a social democratic party, we firmly believe that education is a right and not a privilege. Education is a catalyst for poverty reduction, rapid socio-economic development, and overall prosperity. We're therefore determined to ensure that every Ghanaian child, every girl, every boy must have an equal opportunity for education, no matter where they live in this nation, and no matter how poor or rich their parents are. We cannot, as a government and a people, accept the fact that our existing senior high schools currently have a capacity to accommodate only 60% of our children who finish from basic education. And this is why government is building these new 200 community-day senior high schools as part of an overall secondary education strategic initiative. My administration remains committed to helping all parents to educate their children in an affordable manner by making secondary education progressively free as enshrined in Article 25 of our 1992 Constitution. We are actively following up on this objective that distance or location should not be a barrier to quality education, and secondary education must be brought to the doorsteps of all communities across this nation. I can imagine a young girl or boy, possibly a future president of this nation, who would have missed out on education because of the distance or the remote location of their community. But now with this initiative, they will be able to attend a school close to home and be able to realize their full potential. A lot of careful consideration has gone into selecting the locations for these new community day senior high schools. One key criterion is that priority must be given to old and new districts which are currently without senior high schools. That's the first criterion, districts old and new that are currently without senior high schools. A second criterion is that priority is given to districts that are deprived. And another consideration is that there are several senior high schools struggling to address pressure for places because of oversubscription, resulting in unacceptable congestion. This criterion means that where we have existing secondary schools, but they are overfilled to capacity, we will cite some of these new community day schools there so that they ease the pressure on the existing senior high schools. Nananom, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my administration will continue to work hard in our nation's interest to ensure that no child and no district is left behind in our drive to provide modern quality education across our nation. The construction we are starting here today should be completed within the next 18 months. While constructing the new schools, we are also going to continue our program of expanding the capacity of existing secondary schools. Under the Secondary Education Improvement Program, SEIP, that is being supported by the World Bank, our existing senior high schools are going to benefit from the rehabilitation and expansion of their facilities so that we can achieve overall improvements in the quality of teaching and learning. What this means is that while we are building the new secondary schools, we are also working with the World Bank to expand facilities in the existing secondary schools so that they can accommodate more students in those schools. Nananom, ladies and gentlemen, let me just take a moment to share with you the nature, design, and quality of these new community secondary schools we are about to begin constructing. A lot of detailed work has gone into all the required processes, and we have arrived at a design concept that is associated with excellence. So the centerpiece of each project will be the 4-story E or Excellence block, which has the following facilities. And if you look on the screen, you see a design of the schools that are going to build. And so 18 months from now, if you come, you will see this school standing here on this site. And if you look at the design, it has the letter E on two of the blocks. And the letter E stands for excellence. It means we're trying to achieve excellence in education. And if you look at the school from above, it is shaped in the form of an E. So there's a block joining the 3 blocks straight behind it. And so that also forms an E, which means excellence. And now you also know that in the knowledge world, E stands for electronic. And so you have electronic mail, E education, E immigration, and everything. And so these community-day secondary schools are also going to give serious focus to education in computer literacy and electronic media. The schools will have the following facilities. They will have 24 classrooms. One may ask, some of these schools might have more capacity than the number of the population in the area. But we're being proactive. The population of Ghana is increasing at a fast rate. So instead of building the schools to take the capacity of the children today, so that tomorrow we find that there's no space again and we have to waste money to build additional schools, we are building the schools to be over capacity, so that as the population grows, there will be space to accommodate them. And so when the schools begin, probably some of the classrooms will not be used. But as the population grows, more children will be admitted into the school to occupy the additional space that we have created. Nananom, ladies and gentlemen, each school will have 4 well-equipped laboratories. These laboratories will be for integrated sciences, physics, chemistry, and biology. Each school will also have 2 libraries, each of them capable of seating 150 students at a time. Each school will have 8 offices for departmental heads. And so the teachers in the school will have offices where they can sit and mark their scripts and prepare their lesson notes for the children. Each school will have an ICT software and hardware laboratory capable of seating 45 students each at a time. We anticipate that each class will contain about 45 students. So it means that the laboratory can contain one whole class at a time. And so there will be 45 computers, and each class can take their computer lessons together at the same time. Each school will also have an internet learning area also capable of seating 40 students so that they can do their browsing and do their homework. Nananom, ladies and gentlemen, the new schools are designed to offer science courses, that is pure science, agric science, and technical knowledge. And then they are also designed to offer general courses like business, general arts, vocational, and technical subjects. And as I said, the schools are designed in such a way that allowance is being made for future expansion and for the addition of more facilities. My brothers and sisters, fellow Ghanaians, another interesting peculiarity of these schools is that the schools are going to be built by Ghanaian construction firms. The companies, construction companies that are selected to build these schools are going to be Ghanaian companies. The contractors will employ Ghanaian workers. And we have asked the consultants to ensure that as much as possible, all the construction material that is used for building these school blocks must be made in Ghana. As far as possible, I know we don't produce glass in Ghana, and so we don't have made in Ghana glass yet. But when we revive the Aboso glass factory, we'll have glass. But all other materials that are made in Ghana, construction materials, can be used for the construction of these schools. Nananom, ladies and gentlemen, education currently accounts for between 30 and 34% of all our budgetary allocation. That shows the level of importance that we place on education as a nation. Education consumes 1/3 of our total national budget. Yet, because of several factors, including significant teacher absenteeism rates and low time on task outcomes, we as a people do not appear to be receiving value for the money that we invest in education. One sad consequence is that examination results of our students fall below expectation. This is unacceptable, and we must take firm action in this regard. And that is why the Ministry of Education has declared zero tolerance for absenteeism this year and plans to implement measures that will ensure that government does not pay teachers for no work done. No teacher in clear conscience can feel comfortable collecting salaries when they have not taught the children. And so, government is going to back the Ministry of Education to ensure that we reduce to zero the current 27% absenteeism rate that we have. The teaching profession is one of the most noble undertakings for anyone in the world. My father was a teacher, and I have done some teaching myself in my early years. In fact, the great roles played by teachers in our lives cannot be overstated. But this great role cannot be realized if teachers don't come to class and teach the children. I'm therefore calling urgently for a reduction and elimination of the 27% absenteeism rate that has been established by the Ministry of Education survey. Let me also appeal to the National Inspectorate Board and the Inspectorate Division of the GES to intensify their supervision so that we can cut down on teacher absenteeism. We need to get the basics right in education and proceed on a firm foundation. It is for this reason that the roadmap that the Ministry of Education has presented to Cabinet envisages that these first batch of senior high schools will be completed and commissioned by August 2015. These first batch of schools will be completed by August 2015. And as I announced in Parliament recently, the beginning of the roadmap for free SHS will begin in the 2015-2016 academic year. So it means that these first batch of schools will be ready for the admissions of the 2015-2016 academic year, which will be based on the free SHS concept. And so the children who will be admitted in September 2015 into this Kwaobaah and Nyanoa Community Day Secondary School will not pay any school fees. Nananom, ladies and gentlemen, our country, Ghana, is a nation in a hurry. We do not have time to waste on unhelpful arguments that are not necessary. My attention has been drawn that some of the media say, my Minister of Education says she doesn't know where the money is coming from. My Minister of Education was given a job to produce a roadmap for the progressive introduction of free SHS. She has done that job. She has costed it. We don't know how much it's going to cost. And she has presented it to Cabinet. It is my duty as the President of the Republic of Ghana to make the funds available for the free SHS to take off. It is not the duty of my Minister of Education. And I want to inform those who want to know where the money is coming from that they should wait for the presentation of the 2015 budget. If they look in the budget and they don't find allocation for free SHS, then they can raise that issue. I will present a budget to the Parliament of Ghana for the financial year 2015. And in that budget, they will find the appropriate allocation of approximately 71 million Ghana cedis for the commencement of free SHS in Ghana. I hope that this response puts to rest any unnecessary argumentation surrounding the Minister of Education. I also wish to urge all of you brothers and sisters in the communities as well where these secondary schools are going to be constructed to give the contractors your maximum support so that these projects can be completed on schedule. I look forward to coming back here sometime next year for the commissioning of the e-learning block excellence of Kwaobaah and Nyanoa, and I'm sure that that day when I come, it will be a day of celebration and joy. Nananom, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing the right thing for the education of our children and for the future of our great country. And as the chief of Nyanoa said, we must all come together and unite to build our nation. As I said, it doesn't take one political party or one president to make a nation. It takes all the people of Ghana. And that is exactly the story that the chief of Nyanoa said. I want to thank him again for that very beautiful, wonderful story he gave us. Ladies and gentlemen, may God bless you and may God bless our homeland, Ghana. I thank you for your kind attention.
Done.